Jared, they are so sleek. Mikey and Jared, they're making beats.
Hello and welcome. Week 1 of the 2022-2023 season. Nope, fuck that. Oh God, I'm so stupid. Week 1.
Regular NFL season starts 2 days from now.
Yep. Lions are gonna win. Everyone knows it. The media's scared to accept it.
Yeah.
Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs look like they're gonna be out. Chris Jones and Kelsey, which are probably 2 and 3 in terms of their best players. It's over. It's over, guys.
It's over.
Give us the Super Bowl now, and we can just skip the whole season. But no, in all seriousness, we got a lot of picks to give out today. We got some props to give out. We love Underdog. We know you love Underdog. A lot of people have been hitting me up saying that they're trying it out for the first time and enjoying it, which I love to hear. And yeah, actually, I wanted my friend Mike Ligori to talk about Darren Waller. Give me your thoughts on Darren Waller. Is he any good?
Hey, man, listen. I think Darren Waller's a fucking dog. I think he's going to be Daniel Jones' best fucking friend. That man is a monster. That man is a 6'6" Greek god, okay? And his wife's sexy. So shout out to him. But nah, man, listen, you keep Waller healthy, bro. And you got to think you got Bellinger backing him up. Bellinger's right there. I think Bellinger's a great guy to be right in that little mix there. I think the Giants are forming a nice little squad, but get ready for Waller to be making a lot of noise, bro. And it's not just because I'm a Giants fan. I'm actually just super stoked to see Waller on a new team and right under that Dayball system. I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of highlights this year. All I'm gonna say.
Did you hear that they've been removing Waller from practice occasionally because they want Daniel Jones to pass to other people? Daniel Jones is so hyper fixated on Waller.
Dude, I don't know if anyone, I mean, like, many Giants fans probably saw that one preseason game. I think the starters played like one drive, and it was just Jones to Waller down the field, you know?
Yep.
And I think that's a nice little preview of what we'll see. I think he's going to get a lot of looks. So like I said, man, he's just a big body, gets open. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked.
Gronkowski 2.0. Remember when Bellinger got like his eyeball poked out?
Yep.
Yeah, and then he became a fucking god in the offseason. His arms look massive. What a fucking G. So Bellinger's a dog too, man. Do not get it twisted.
You only need one eye. You only need one eye to lift weights. So
he got his eye poked out and he became a demon. So
I think I would too, honestly.
Oh my god. So yeah, no, I mean, outside of Hyatt, there's not really another sort of big body, fast, good hands type of receiver on that team. Everyone else is like a slot guy. So
yeah, it's a little weird, but you know they're trying to build something over there because we've been such dog shit, and last season was such a treat. So I'm excited for them to hopefully build off what they started last year, winning culture, keeping the same coaching staff for once. Holy shit! Give this guy the same coaching for at least a little bit, please.
Yep.
You can't keep seeing the switch up. I think Judge and Garrett was like the worst thing for Jones.
Yep.
You know, we're not living in the past anymore. The present is here. The future is here.
I like the present. The Lions are good. The Giants are up and up. The Bills are a Super Bowl contender year in, year out. I like today.
Yeah, I like it. I like today. And like I said, I don't know if anyone just heard, I will be at the game Sunday night, Giants Cowboys home opener. I'll be there. I'll be ready and I'll be wet.
Are you going to be behaved?
No, I do not plan on behaving.
Gremlin mode for sure. Yeah. Well, you got to put some picks in before you head to that game. We could discuss it today. I'm expecting at least like 6 or 7 props coming out into the game.
Oh, of course.
I mean, Mike gave out, I think last time Mike was on the show, he gave out a plus 1,000 prop that hit.
Mike gives out good picks. I can back that up.
The James Robinson pick. James Robinson first tutty, Jaguars game. We're just feeling it, man. You know, when you're feeling the sauce, you're feeling it. Mm-hmm. And when it happened, you can't say I was shocked.
Yeah.
Nope. Not at all.
This is definitely one of the guests we have that I will ride every time he comes on. Comes in with the hot takes that always play out. He gave me Bellinger one year, and now I'm a big Bellinger fan. That's why I brought up his eyeball earlier. And he's looking shredded. He's looking absolutely shredded. I'm looking at him right now.
He's sexy. You know, it just is what it is.
Objectively sexy. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird when you can't just be like, yeah, that guy's hot. Like, I'm not an idiot. Let's not be dumb about this. That dude is a good looking dude.
But there's nothing gay about being objective.
Nope.
Nothing gay about it. And
Mm-mm.
just before we start anything, I just want to throw one last thing in.
Yep.
And I hope everyone saw my Duke Blue Devils last night absolutely clobbering Clemson, storming the field down in Durham. I was fucking hype. And it was a great way to start the week. Great way to get into the NFL season. Just watching some college football, watching on a Monday night, watching my Blue Devils absolutely clobber Clemson. So, anyways, we can get into it. I just had to dish that out there because I was just ecstatic.
No, go for it, man. I
Fuck
remember
Clemson.
watching. I
Yeah.
was watching the first like handful of drives in that game. I'm like, huh. Like I know Duke football is getting better, but they look like they're gonna fucking like end up winning this game. Like it looked like I was like, what's
On the
happening
come up.
here?
Shut them out in the second half.
Clemson's-
Impressive.
Yeah, Clemson's downfall is here. It is a
Yeah,
ride.
yeah, we're
Dabo
here to see
Sweeney
it.
apparently doesn't know how to use the transfer portal. That's what I've heard from the people who do watch a lot of college football. Is that
Right,
it will
right.
be his downfall?
Right.
Which is great because Dabo Sweeney's a known dork.
I
Right.
hate
Yeah,
dorks.
exactly. Yeah, dorks suck.
Talk about a guy who's not a dork. His name's Mike Evans. I'm going to give you a quick prop on him. This might be the best prop I've ever given on the show, so strap in for this one.
Yeah.
Really quick, how old do you think Mike Evans is?
I think
31.
Yeah, I want to say I was going to guess like 30,
He's
29.
29 years old, so a little younger
Crazy.
than everyone
Okay.
thinks. He's been around for so long and so good. I don't blame you for thinking he's older. Mr.
Right,
1,000
right.
yards. He's done it in 9 straight seasons, averaging
Yep.
over 9 touchdowns a season during that time. Funny enough, last year, there were concerns he wasn't going to hit that 1,000-yard season. People started like, oh, he's starting to fall off. PFF gave him his best grade in the last 3 years last year. So it wasn't like he fell off. It was largely noodle arm Brady who couldn't get him the ball. Mike Evans is a deep target guy. He always has been. His average depth of target is over 13 yards, which is fucking ridiculous.
That's an insane stat.
And I understand that you might be a little afraid of Baker coming in. But Baker is actually a better deep throw passer than you might think. In 2021, he ranked 6th in deep ball passes ahead of guys like Cousins, Herbert, Josh Allen. He threw more 20-yard touchdowns last year than Mahomes with half the attempts down the field. So Baker's not as bad as you think. And let's be honest, Baker has been as good outside of Brady. If you remove Brady when Brady was decent with Tampa, there was just a slew of guys in and out of Tampa that had no business being in the NFL.
Facts.
Right.
And Baker is as good, if not better, than all those guys. I don't think Baker's great, but he's serviceable. Last year, Evans did this in 9 of 17 games, hitting over, and I forgot to give out the prop because I was so excited to talk about it, over 54.5 yards. Mike Evans did this in 9 of 17 games last year, and he actually hit 54 exactly one time, so he technically missed it. And there's only 2 other legit targets in this offense. You have Rashad White, who's a dump-off RB, who's going to be getting 3 to 4 yard passes. And then Chris Godwin, a great wide receiver, whose average depth target is 5.6 yards. Like I said, Evans is that deep guy. He's the only guy who's going to be able to go deep for them. Do not be afraid. I actually think the Buccaneers might be sneaky good this year. They kind of remind me a lot of Seattle from last year, where everyone was out on them. They had a journeyman QB come in. They had 2 legit wide receivers, and they had a decent defense. Let's see what happens. I don't have them this week because I need to see what this first week looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But let's be honest. If I was high on Seattle at the beginning of last year, everyone would have laughed at me. Right?
True.
Sure,
True.
Yeah, surely. Very true.
So let's see what ends up happening. But
Okay.
let's get into the actual picks. I forced Jared to go first all of last week. So I'm actually going to go first this week. And we're going to start with the Packers +1 over the Bears. I don't understand. It's actually 1.5 now, which is fucking wild. When did the Bears get good, guys?
You are a known Bears hater. You are officially entering known Bears hater territory, and I'm not going to stop you from it. I respect it, but I will say that before you go off. The floor is yours to go off, but please
All right.
continue.
All right, so here's some stats on why I think the Bears fucking stink. Let's see. They closed last season with a 7-game home losing streak, which is tied for the longest in NFL history with the Texans. In the last 20 years, the Bears are 12, 28, and 1 ATS against the Packers specifically. If you bet the Bears, if you put $100 on the Bears for every division game, you'd be down $1,300. $300. Like, it's ridiculous. They're horrible in division. They are the least profitable team against their division in the NFL in the last 20 years. Meanwhile, LaFleur is a pretty good coach over there. He's 70% ATS as an underdog. Whenever they have been doubted, they always show up. And as much as I hate to say it, Jordan Love has actually looked pretty decent during this preseason. They have a slew of, I think, all right, let's go through it really quick. Which defense is better? I think it's pretty obviously the Packers.
Yeah.
I think the Packers have a better offensive line. It's probably one of their best units on their entire team.
Yeah.
I think they have maybe, let's say Fields is a better quarterback. Boom. You get Fields over there. I think offensive weapons, I think it's pretty obviously the Packers have the better offensive weapons, in my opinion, because outside of DJ Moore, who he's good.
Don't get me started on fucking Darnell Mooney either. Don't even get me started on Mooney. But continue. I just had to toss it in there. But yeah, I agree. I think the Packers do have the better offensive weapons. And Watson's a dog? Question mark.
Yeah.
Question mark. Aaron Jones still a reliable back. You know.
Yep.
Hey man, listen. He's got decent guys around him over there in Green Bay, I think. And I know like Rodgers has been there forever, and I just know that Rodgers has been the Bears' daddy forever. Can Love also be their daddy? He might be.
Might be. Time will tell.
Time will tell. We'll see. What has Fields got? We will see. But I'm going to agree with you. I think the Packers are coming out on top in that game, and I'm actually excited to watch that game because I actually do like Fields, but I really don't see the Bears actually beating Green Bay. I don't care if it's Jordan Love behind the fucking offensive line. I don't care who it is. I think the Packers are just winning no matter what. Put me behind the offensive line.
I'd pay to see good money to see that.
I would too.
But yeah, I mean, Jared, you said you liked this Packers roster last week. I mean, do you hate the pick or?
No, I don't hate the pick. I just wanted to put the context in play that there. You know, when I bet against the Dolphins, you can feel free to chime in whenever you want on that as well. But I don't hate the play. I think the NFC North is the best division in the NFC, and I think by a fair margin as well. I really, really like what the Bears have done. I think they got as improved as they could have. And, you know, I think they're going to have a good year, but this is a tough first game. It's at home, granted, but the Packers are their boogeyman. They beat them at the end of the last year, which is, you know, great, but that was Aaron Rodgers, who didn't give a fuck about the Packers at that point. Jordan Love looks really good, something to prove. Jaire Alexander, I think he's a top-tier corner. Great running back duo. You have a great point that if you go position by position, the Packers probably still have the better roster, and that's why I think they're going to be a threat in the NFC North. So I don't hate the play. I think it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably take the dog in a game like this, so I guess I would support it. The week one's always so tough, man. It's always so tough to read what's going on.
Honestly, it's a toss-up. You know, it's the first game. You know, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
New rosters, new rookies. You know, just new coaches, new coordinators. You never know. Shit just is different in week one. You know, so I'm stoked for it though.
Right.
Mike, do you want to go next? I want to hear your pick. Give Jared some time. I feel bad. I was peppering him with questions last week, so I want to rest him this week.
Yeah.
All right. So, with my 1 point play, I'm going with the Steelers 2.5.
Love it.
Give me Pickett to Pickens all day.
Yep. I
love that connection. I see everyone shitting on the Steelers all the time, and like I'm a Steelers guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a couple dogs, bro. I think you give them the off season together. They came in the league together. I think they're pretty dangerous, and their defense is pretty their defensive line and linebackers are pretty fucking nasty.
Really, really good.
And mind you, we have TJ Watt, who's an absolute game changer. Fucking lethal, fucking savage. And who's their coach? Mike Tomlin, man. Guy's a dog. Guy's an absolute dog. He's got his guys in check, man.
Yep.
I think the Steelers are coming into Pittsburgh this week, and I think they're gonna make a statement for all these people that have been just blindly, in my opinion, blindly hating on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I love the Steelers in this game, and I don't think Brock Purdy's ever really gonna get going. Is what I think. I don't think he's ever really gonna get going. I think the defense is going to hold him in check. Like, good for him. Like, super late pick, obviously. It worked out for him. I'm glad. But I really think that the Steelers are going to come out on top. Not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I love the 2.5 spread there. I can totally see them winning on a field goal, touchdown, whatever it may be. But give me the Steelers all day.
I actually have this as my lock. So I wanted to just give you a chance because I agreed with almost everything you said there, really. So I just wanted you to go. It's my lock. I love this pick.
I love that.
It's a good play. I totally agree. I have a little touch on this game as well. I have the under, not rather than the Steelers, but I think that plays into the Steelers' favor if it goes under. Agreed. This is the two best defenses in the league, arguably, going at it week one. I think offense is gonna be a little sloppy here. I would take Pickett over Purdy, absolutely. And I went on this a little bit last week, and I completely agree with you, Mike. Like, the Steelers are getting, partially by me earlier in the offseason, getting just hated for not
a lot of hate, dude. But a lot of hate on the Steelers.
If I asked you what don't you like about the Steelers, you could say Pickett, and like that's fine, okay. But then other than that, they really don't have a weakness on that roster. If you could give me a position, I could probably give you an average, if not above average person in that position. So, and then on top of that, they got Minka Fitzpatrick, Casey Hayward, and TJ Watt. We're all top 3 in their position.
I think they have a lot of. I think their roster is talented, and I can get behind Pickett in that game. And when I was like just going through, I was like, what do I want this week? I was looking. The second I saw that, I was like, give me the Steelers all day. Give them all day.
You know you're getting with the Steelers.
I love betting against the hate. Give me the Steelers all day. They're going to be going nuts down in Pittsburgh,
especially week one. Because I just don't like you were saying earlier, Jared. Like, it's so murky right now because it's week one. You don't know who these teams are. I know who Mike Tomlin is. You know.
Yeah, he's going to get his boys ready. Yes. Mike Tomlin's not asleep.
They're ready. They're ready, man. They're ready to go. They've been ready.
Do we have a thought on when? Not if, on when George Pickens loses his mind and tries to blow up the Steelers locker room. Doesn't need to be this year, but next year.
I actually think he needs to be good this year to implode the locker room. Like, he needs a full season of being like a great wide receiver.
He will.
So I think we're talking about 2024, 2025 is when this guy is going to be threatening guys with guns. Dating. He's going to be dating like a really big artist. It could be like a Doja Cat who is going to be in rehab at that point. It's going to be interesting. I am here for it. The NFL is the best drama in the world. They can't write this stuff,
It's great.
George Pickens is absolutely going to date Doja Cat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. That is 100% what the meme is gonna be. Like, there's gonna be no context. It should be Pickens and Doja Cat like hugging or something. I want to make it happen. All right. Talking about the Steelers and Mike Tomlin getting the boys ready in week one, in 2021. Do you remember what happened with the Steelers, Jared?
Beat the Bills.
They beat the Bills
handedly. Yeah.
And then in 2022, you know what they did? Picked off Joe Burrow 4 times and beat the shit out of Joe Burrow last year.
Yep.
This Steeler team, especially week one, is very trustworthy. Since 2005, division dogs. This isn't a division dog, so throw that out. Never mind that stat. Mike Tomlin, 16-4-3 ATS as a home underdog. There we go. That stat's legit. And this is a team that needs TJ Watt, and we're definitely going to have him for this game. The Steelers were 8-2 straight up and ATS when Watt played last year, but they were 1-6 straight up without him and 2-4-1 ATS without him. I know I just threw a bunch of numbers at you. Just know TJ Watt equals money.
Literal game changer.
Game changer.
As the stats just provided. Yep.
Just as a traditional underdog, not at home. Steelers 64%. I love this team. They've won 3 straight week one matchups, straight up and ATS. Steelers and Pickett covered their last 3 games that end last season. And then let's think about the 49ers here for a moment. If they have one weakness on their offense, I would argue that and really their entire team, I would argue it's its offensive line. You saw the Eagles absolutely exploit that, injuring Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, forcing in whoever the fuck it was who ended up getting hurt, and then they were throwing CMC back there. So
Yeah, that was insane.
Yes, they have. Yeah, exactly. Yes, they have Trent Williams, but outside of Trent Williams, it's kind of a bunch of just average guys in there. And I think the Steelers are going to absolutely get at Purdy.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then you also have on the other side, the 49ers, they may not have Nick Bosa for this game. It's not looking good.
I've been seeing the reports.
What happened to Nick Bosa?
He's just holding out. He just doesn't feel like playing. And you know what? While my money is on this game, I hope he doesn't. And it's funny, I would actually argue the weakest point about the Steelers is also their offensive line. If Nick Bosa isn't in this game to wreak havoc, I think that really, really bodes well for the Steelers. So this is my lock here. I like this one a ton, legs. So yeah, I think it's time for Jared's 1 point play.
Sure is. It sure is. I think you'll like this one, Mikey. I'm gonna start out with our Thursday night game. So fired up for football. I'm taking the Lions 5.5 versus the Chiefs here.
Fucking go.
Kind of like that money line as well. You got the Chiefs with Kelsey potentially out, if not wounded.
Yep.
I think that matters a lot. Outside of Kelsey, we really haven't seen what Mahomes can do without Hill and Kelsey. So it'll be a unique scenario for him. I'm sure he'll be fine, but it's also a much more difficult Hill throwing to. I don't know who Sky Moore, Rashid Rice.
I don't know if Tony's playing. He never does.
Kadarius Toney is probably hurt.
Never.
Right. Those are 3 wide receivers that I wouldn't trust throwing to. Jerick McKinnon will probably have the most catches.
I was about to say that, Jared. I was literally about to say that.
I got him in all my fantasy teams. Don't worry, brother.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty tough spot for the Chiefs. You know, maybe a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. I think this game on the other side of the coin means the world to the Lions. I think that they want to come out here and make a statement, let everyone know they're not, fucking around. It's not the old Lions, it's the new Lions.
Yep.
They played really well last year.
I agree.
If Josh Allen doesn't make a 55-yard throw at the end of the Thanksgiving game, the Lions are in the playoffs.
Yep.
And probably making some noise because they started 1-4 last year and they looked bad. They looked dead.
I think they were literally like 1-6 last year.
Yeah.
I think it was.
We had a historically bad defense. Like we weren't like people are like, oh, the Lions defense was bad last year. We were on pace to be the worst defense in NFL history halfway through the season. By the end of the season, we were like a league average defense, but because we were so bad, the stats look awful. By the end of the season, we were a league average defense.
Yeah, you guys there's a lot, and then you guys got better on the offseason, as teams in your position do. So there's nothing to not like about this Lions team. I'm fully bought into the hype with this team.
Yep.
I think the Chiefs are going to be world beaters again this year, but I think it's very, very possible for them to misstep here, possibly not be fully awake for the first game of the season, post Super Bowl without Travis Kelce against an NFC team out of the conference that doesn't mean as much to them as a Bengals, as a Bills, as a Chargers game would.
Absolutely. Right. I agree with all that. There's just, man, I have so many emotions about this game. It's interesting. I think a lot of people might wonder, like, oh, are the Lions like reading their clippings? Like, are they like self-absorbed about all the success that everyone thinks they're going to have? The Lions actually benched one of their better defensive players, Isaiah Buggs, because he was just being moody, just a little annoyed that he was like second on the depth chart, and he was going to play, like he was still going to get a ton of snaps. They just benched him. They said, no, like cut it out. Like if you're not like on board, you're fucking off the ship.
Right.
So he's going to end up being back for week 2, and he's apologized to the locker room and all that. Things are going to be good, but I think that says something good about like our culture is like we're still hungry. Like this dog hasn't eaten yet,
Mm-hmm,
that dog is starving. They want their bones now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they do.
It's important to have a good locker room, man. We see what bad locker rooms do to teams.
Yep.
And I love that the Lions are holding it down over there. And I think that's a great first game of the season. So I'm super excited for that. I do love the pick because I actually do really like the Lions. Shout out to Mikey. Honestly, Mikey being a fan might have got me on board the Lions these past years, and their fans have been suffering for quite a long time.
Yes.
And it looks like things are trending upwards, and I'm just super excited.
Just two things I really quickly want to mention here, or 3 things. One is like I'm like fucking deeply obsessed. And I've been hearing some rumors of Sam Laporta lining up in the backfield as a running back.
Amazing.
That's happening in practice. Wow. We also have Jahmyr Gibbs is just a slot wide receiver. He's going to carry the ball, but he's going to line up in slot like 50%.
I really like Gibbs. I was
saying.
watching Gibbs highlights the other day.
He's a freak.
And I think he's a freak. And like that was a super fucking awesome pick.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I was watching those highlights and I was like, damn. I was like, this dude's a dog. I was like, all right, like.
And people think like, oh, he's like a lot like Swift. Like you're getting like your new Swift. No, he is not DeAndre Swift. He is better than DeAndre Swift in almost every single way, in my opinion. And then lastly, this offensive coordinator, like they're saying like some of his like 2-point conversion plays are being like he hasn't failed to convert a 2-point conversion in practice against the defense this season, like in this offseason. Like they're just that creative. I think this is going to be a fun game. I almost am 100% sure the Lions are going to do a trick play at one point in this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They love it, especially in the big moments here. I still think the Chiefs. I love the over here as well. If you're crazy, over plus Lions. Yeah, if they lose, delete my number. Don't talk to me. If they win, I expect a lot of apology texts. People telling me that they were wrong.
No drama there, Mikey. No drama. Very rational response. Did you listen to either of you listen to the Amon-Ra St. Brown interview on Part of My Take?
No, I've not actually. I'm very curious. He's a psycho.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of his other interviews. He's
that's
not
where I was going.
chill.
He is very much like the son of a previous Mr. Universe, which is exactly what he is. Yes. He's a lunatic. He reads every day. He reads the names in his journal of all the receivers drafted before him.
Yes.
No jokes. No jokes with that man. It is a job for him. It is a job for him to be the best receiver in the league. And I think he's gonna have a great year.
Yeah.
Reason I'm taking the Lions.
In my opinion, he is the best slot receiver in the league. And I think that's actually not that crazy. Okay, I'm going to move on from the Cole Beasley statement. You ever see the videos of him doing the one-handed catch on the jug machine, like 10 feet away from it? The thing's shooting balls at him like 30 miles per hour. And he just one-hands them. It's like those fucking old fantasy football videos. If you ever saw them when they're like promoting the league, he's actually that guy. So, yeah, man, I'm all over it, of course. I'm going to be I actually might call out sick if the Lions lose.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. All right. Let's get on to our 2-point play here because we've been lingering on our 1-pointers for a minute. Let's see here. My 1-point play or my 2-point is going to be the Commanders -7 versus Arizona. Arizona last year without Murray scored 13, 19, 16, 15, 10, and 27 points. The
sad franchise. Sad franchise.
Yep, absolutely. Cardinals are going to be underdogs every game this season.
Yep.
They had a rough start to last year. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Washington. They had a rough start to last year. Going, I don't even remember what they were, but they were bad. But they finished the season 7-4-1 over their last 12 games. That's like not an awful stretch there. That's a good sample size of games. Meanwhile, you have Arizona. They still haven't announced their starting quarterback for this game. Meanwhile, they are cutting Colt McCoy. They're naming Kyler Murray, who has yet to practice, their captain.
Giving the Giants Isaiah Simmons.
Yes, they're trading away assets. This is one of the most obvious rebuilds. Like they're not even pretending to compete. And this Washington defense is really legit still. They're third.
They're good.
Yeah, they gave up the 3rd fewest yards last year, the 7th fewest points, and the 12th most 12th most sacks without Chase Young last year for most of the year. And lastly, the last thing I'll say on this is that did anyone see the pump-up speech that the Arizona head coach tried to give to his team?
I didn't, but I'll just ask, was it embarrassing?
It was
It was really, 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 really bad.
It's one of those things. I'm surprised the team put it out. They should delete it.
Okay.
They try to put on cool music behind it to make it sound better, but and you could see the players just staring blankly at him. He couldn't fire me up to fill out my taxes.
Yep.
Tough. Yeah, but no, I do like to play, Mikey. I was actually going to do that, but I just didn't because I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go a little more spicy with it because the Cardinals are just such dog shit. Yep. And as a Giants fan, like I've seen the Commanders every year, and defense is not where they've lagged. It's been the offense, but apparently Sam Howell is not too bad.
Yep.
Not too bad. You know, you got Scary Terry over there. You got a few good, sneaky good receivers over there as well.
Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, Jahan Dotson is good, man. I don't hate the Commanders, obviously, because we just own them year after year. They're like the one team that doesn't make me sick.
Yep.
But no, like they're a respectably good team, and I do think they probably body the Cardinals if we're gonna be honest.
The vibes coming out.
I wouldn't doubt if it's like a 2-touchdown game.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I'm definitely with that play 100%. Just because the Cardinals are just they're done. They're done, dead in the water. And I will be watching that little hype up video after this podcast is done because I actually am very shocked I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it a bunch of times. I'm surprised you haven't either. Yeah,
I can't believe I haven't seen it.
The vibes coming out of Washington right now are immaculate. New
Yeah,
start,
100%.
new owner.
100%.
You gotta love it. Sam Howell apparently looks very competent, and like you were saying, the weapons are just very good. Also,
yeah, the weapons are there.
I think I mentioned it last episode. If I'm not gonna have a good quarterback, the next most important thing for me is a good defensive line, and they have a great one. So they have that going for them. Gotta feel good about it. I like the pick. Hate the Cardinals. Do you think Kyler Murray plays this year? I think he's done in Arizona.
So I understand the instinct to say no. I think he does play because I think they want to show teams he's healthy if they intend to trade him, which I used to say, I don't think they're going to trade him. I think they'll just trade away the pick and get a bunch of picks back. No, I think they're done with Kyler. I think they're going to end up trading Kyler, but I think you want tape on him. So I think you want to show teams he's healthy. So even if we're talking about like week 16 and 17, he's like playing and it's like meaningless games, I think they still want to try to get that done.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I think Kyler Murray's such a gigantic pussy that he won't want to play. And he'll be like, nah. And then he'll just sit and he'll get traded.
He's playing Call of Duty, most likely.
New maps come out. He's got to do what he's got to do.
I'm calling it right now. Falcons. I can totally see the Falcons being interested in Murray. That could actually be a fucking scary team too if he goes there.
That would be incredibly scary.
Yeah.
That system.
Oh my god.
I think it would.
Terrifying, actually.
So many weapons already. So anyway, yeah, that's my 2-point play. I like it. Let's see. Liggs, you're up next.
Yes, sir. This might be a shocker to some. It just can't. It's not going to be. I'm taking the Giants, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Giants. I'm taking Giants to win outright.
Love
now,
it.
listen, the Cowboys have had our number for God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
The tides are turning, man. All right. Home opener, 8:30 p.m. MetLife Stadium. Giants are coming out. We're winning the game. All right. I love what the Giants have been doing. As a fan, like I've watched these guys game after game. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Google. I'm on fucking website to website. I'm reading about them. I'm watching videos. I eat, breathe, and sleep the Giants, which is sad. But I think that Daboll is a fucking amazing coach.
Agreed.
I think we have a great offensive coordinator. I think we have a great defensive coordinator, and our GM is sexy. All right, this pick right here is sexy. Now, some may say I'm crazy, but I'm not. They have a ton of new offensive weapons.
Mm-hmm.
We might see Evan Neal at right tackle have a big I want to say breakout year because he was pretty fucking god awful last year. But hey, man, being a tackle in the NFL is very tough.
Yep.
You know, they added some receivers. I think Paris Campbell was a sneaky good addition to that team.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a reliable guy when he's healthy. I think Saquon, if he's healthy, he's probably top 2. You got to say top 2 running back in the league. You're adding Waller. You're drafting Hyatt. I think there's a lot of offensive weapons that are there. They've been adding to the defense. We apparently have a 6th-round cornerback who's an absolute dog. I mean, I don't know, like that's pretty awesome. But you know, their front 4 in defense is absolute monstrous.
That's what's going to carry you this season on defense.
Their front 4, you got Kayvon there. You got fucking sexy Dexter Lawrence.
Yep.
You signed Okereke from Indy at linebacker. I mean, they're adding really good pieces to the team. They're forming a culture. And I think they're tired of losing to the Cowboys, man. I think it's done. I think they're coming out there. I think they're winning week 1. I think they're going to start the league. We came out. We won a crazy game last year in week 1. And I think that, like, put the whole league. They're like, oh, shit. Like, all right, okay, Giants. But, like, and I'm seeing a lot of, you know, so-called, like, experts, analysts, and they're still shitting on the Giants, which is crazy. It's crazy to me. I don't know why. I think like they're honestly forming a very talented squad. They paid Daniel Jones a shit ton of money, so that motherfucker better come out and go balls to the wall. But all I've seen from anyone on the Giants is they love the guy, which is important to me. Important as a fan is too that your quarterback is so dedicated to the game. And I really do. I honestly can see the Giants coming out and winning that game, if not covering that spread. I believe they're
+3. Yeah, they're +3.5.
They're plus. Yeah, I mean that 3.5. That's pretty right there because Lord knows they could lose on a field goal.
Yep.
But no, man, like seriously, like being a fan aside, just looking at the game, I think it's going to be a close one regardless. But I do think they're going to come out on top. I must say.
I think the Giants are much closer to Dallas than I think people might realize, and I think that there's still that pretty big gap between them and Philadelphia. But you guys got to start beating Dallas if you guys ever really want to turn the corner and really start becoming a legit team. So hey, man, this is it. Week 1, get it done, right?
Week 1, get it done.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it.
I really wish the Bills fired McDermott, kept Dabble. That dude's a stud. Love that fat bald man so much.
Yep. Little meatball.
He's fucking amazing.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Offense got significantly worse when he left.
Yep.
Okay. I already went over my 2 point. I had the under Steelers 49ers. It kind of got a little brushed under the rug there in the Steelers hype, but I'll just, I mean, 2 best defenses in the league, Fred Warner versus TJ Watt. Week 1, sloppy offense. I don't think we really need to dive into it too much. I feel great about that. I feel great about all 3 of my picks. I don't think any of them lose. I don't think any of them are close.
I can see that game being like 13-10.
Easily.
Yeah.
Steelers winning. Yeah, right. I agree.
Right.
No, it's definitely going to be a low scoring affair. What's the actual number on it, Jared?
40.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty generous. Like that's to me, like that should be like a 38 in my.
It's week 1, so like it's just like they don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. What if Purdy comes out and smokes them?
Yep.
What if George Pickens is the second coming of Jerry Rice, Randy Moss combined?
Yep.
Like, you never know. So the lines are always pretty cautious.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. That's fair. I already gave my lock, which was the Steelers. I fucking love that. I yapped about it enough. So, Mike, you want to give us your lock? You're pretty much giving back-to-back picks here, but yeah, let's hear the lock.
Yeah, it's fine. My locks, I took the Falcons.
Wow. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I'm just, listen, man. I think the Panthers are dog shit. I hate to say it. I feel bad saying it because like they've never done anything to me. New quarterback, but their O-line is really pitiful, man.
Yeah.
I think Bryce Young's gonna be running for his life. I think he's not really throwing to him much. We don't know, how good Mingo's gonna be. Thielen's getting older.
Yep.
I don't know who's he really throwing to. They got Miles Sanders in the backfield. He's decent, but I mean, I think the Panthers are kind of in this like, I don't know, like maybe limbo stage where they're just like very, very, very mid, completely mid. And I think the Falcons have added a lot of fun weapons to the team. Like you got that core of like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and then they just got Bijan coming in. That's super fun. And I like their offensive weapons. I know who's their quarterback, Riddler, whatever his name is.
Yep.
Ritter.
Yeah, not obviously, maybe not that talented, maybe not that amazing.
Yep.
But I just love the Falcons coming out on top of this game. Don't give a fuck what anyone says about the Panthers. They're not even coming close to winning. Give me the Falcons all day. I can see the Falcons winning by 2 touchdowns.
I do. It's funny. A lot of people like this Atlanta team.
I would throw money on the Falcons alt spread of minus like 10.
I was gonna say, like, if you want to get crazy, minus like 6.5 might be like
no. I would do like minus 10. I'm feeling Bijan just coming out absolute dog. He's a dog, dude. He's got his own fucking mustard, bro. Okay, he's got his own mustard. That should say all you need to know.
Bijan?
Yeah, he's got his like own mustard. Like that's insanely fucking. That's insane. Who else has their own mustard? Can you guys name me one guy?
Grey Poupon.
Okay, all right. Well,
all right. 9.5. If you bet that, it's plus 215. So if you're a psycho,
I'll throw 50 on that.
Kremlin play
after this podcast.
Oh my god, you're gonna watch that Arizona video, and then you're gonna buy. Oh my god, you're gonna do
buy stock on the Falcons.
Give me all the Falcon stock, man.
Here's the thing. It sounds crazy to me, but you've been right before, so I can't I don't hate the Falcons. I'm just surprised you're this excited about them. So, hey man, their defense was okay last year. They played well in almost every game that they were in. They have weapons galore. And if Ritter could just connect passes, like it doesn't need to be sexy. They don't need
That's
to
what I'm
look good.
if Ritter can just be serviceable in that game, they easily cover that spread. Is all I'm going to say.
If Ritter is serviceable, he's an upgrade from what they had last year with Marcus Mariota. It's a miracle they won as many games as they did with him. Yeah. Arthur Smith is a great coach. They're gonna run the rock. Kyle
exactly. Like I was
all year, like he always does. And the Falcons. Yeah, I agree with what you said about the Panthers too. The Panthers are what like the Bills were for 15 years, where they're gonna go.
They're just not. They're just not
10.
it right now, man. They're not there yet at all. And I think the Falcons have enough on the roster to cover that spread in week 1. And like I think you guys mentioned in your pod that you dropped, I believe last week it was. You were talking about the Falcons for a brief second there, and I like how you guys mentioned that they were definitely competitive in games.
Yep.
You know, they weren't getting smoked. They're there. Like I said, if you like put like a guy like Kyler into that offense, it's fucking insane. They just need that guy. They just need that guy under center. But I'm all in on the Falcon stock, man.
They actually had a winning record ATS last year. Speaking about like being in games, they had technically a positive record ATS last year. And just like to talk about like Carolina for a minute, man. At what point is the shine off Frank Reich? Like I used to think he was pretty good. Like I used to be pretty high on the guy. At what point do we need to be like, maybe this guy's not that good? You also have Brian Burns, who's potentially holding out, probably the best.
I was literally just about to say that. Like I'm pretty sure like their star guy in defense, like there's some stuff going on.
Yep.
And I don't know, you're seeing that a lot with these big guys, but like that's gotta cause some sort of a problem within the team. I mean, like there's so say he doesn't play, right? Like what happens then? I don't know. But just give me all the Falcon stock. I like to bet with my nutsack, and it usually leaves me in good places. And my nutsack told me the Falcons are gonna go out and fucking win, cover that spread.
Mike,
and I like my nutsack. So
I was gonna say, like, I feel like your nutsack might make more decisions just as betting in your life. Like, is that wrong of me to assume?
Oh yeah, my nutsack makes. Listen, man, we don't gotta talk about all that.
We'll just leave it there.
If we talked about this podcast would go right down the drain.
Yeah, I'd prefer that's a different show. Yeah. So I mean, is that all the locks? Did we hit everything? Jared, do you have a lock to give?
Do I have a lock to give? On my own podcast, do I have a lock to give?
I can't remember if you already gave yours out. I can't remember.
I'm sorry.
I can head out. Should I head out?
Start banging the fucking table and getting mad. So
all right, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, turn off my camera. Jared, the show's yours.
God, we're so goddamn disrespectful in week 1. Okay, so I got a gremlin play here for my lock. I'm taking the Texans plus 10 versus the Ravens. I think 10 points is a ridiculous spread for week 1. I was recently just talking about how week 1's a little bit of a crapshoot. You have no idea what it's going to look like. If you're getting 10 points in the NFL, that is asinine. That is a top shelf team playing a bottom barrel team. Do I think the Texans are going to have a bad year? Yes. Do I think the Ravens are going to have a good year? Maybe. Do I think it's worth a 10-point play week 1? No, not at all. That line is way, way, way too big. I think the Ravens probably win it outright, but you see all the time, in these early weeks that the better team doesn't always win. The Bears beat the 49ers last year.
Yep.
Right.
The Steelers beat the Bengals. They beat the Bills the year before that. It happens every single year. The Colts beat the Chiefs last year, like week 3. It's way more. So I think it was Dan Campbell. He had a quote in the beginning of the year: the teams that win are the ones that make the least mistakes. And later in the year, it becomes more who has the best player. So 10 points on 2 different teams that we haven't seen play yet, I think is very disrespectful.
Yep.
To the Texans, as bad as they might be. I like the 10 points. I think they're going to hang closer than 10.
I agree. The 10 points is just too much.
It's too much.
That's incredibly juicy. I wasn't even really thinking about it like that. I kind of like overlooked that spread because I was like, yeah, whatever, like your Ravens, Texans, sure. But that's actually juicy, and my legs are now spread.
Okay, perfect. Good. I'm going to ride all of these picks. What we got? Mikey, did you make a lock? I don't remember.
No, I didn't. I'm not giving one out this week, actually. And what I also like about this one, the name's slipping my mind right now, but the defensive coach for the 49ers, who's now the head coach for the Texans, like he's not going to let them get blown out. Like if there's one, like he could have a shit offense because he's rebuilding this year and everyone knows it. Like it's fine if his offense puts up like 10 points. His defense is not giving up like 40 points. Like, like this game's going to remain relatively close. Stroud is, if anything, I think people were saying that Bryce Young is just like super NFL ready quarterback. And if anything, I argue that these mobile little athletic freaks are better off because they don't need to think. They can just out athlete people. And Stroud is a very good athlete. And when push comes to shove, he's not going to use his brain and he's going to use his legs. And I actually think that makes him much better off week 1 than hypothetically the Panthers are going to be off with Bryce Young. So no, I think this team has a couple weapons, honestly. I think Nico Collins, kind of nice. Yep. That's another nice name in there. There's Damian Pierce, who's looks like a pretty good running back. There's another wide receiver. Oh, they drafted Tank Dell, who might be something. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
They took in Dalton Schultz too.
Yes, that's another name that I'm forgetting.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, Bigby's with Jacksonville, Jared.
So it's not like they have nobody down there.
Yep. John Mechie, who's recovered from cancer, who's actually should be something. Remember Noah Brown last year for the Cowboys, who's like consistently putting up like 80, 90-yard games. He's there. One of my deep fucking sleepers in this draft class was Xavier Hutchinson. They drafted him. I just think this offense has like a fair amount of weapons. And they also even have like Devin Singletary as their RB2. I don't think Devin Singletary is nearly as bad as people may think he is. I think he's a pretty good running back.
He was just in that Bills system, where it's like they don't really do that over there. So
Bills, Devin Singletary is the stereotypical you can't tackle him in a phone booth kind of guy. But his break, I think all three of us right now without training could chase him down in the open field.
That's tough.
I don't think we bring him down, but I think we could catch him.
Yeah. Like if it's 2-hand touch, we're good.
I think he honestly probably runs a 4.7, 4.8. Yeah, he's slow as shit.
That's tough.
He's very short, so he's got little stumpers.
He's moving. He's like a little bit of this
running backs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's funny. No, I like this. Honestly, this was one that I was considering. I just didn't have the balls to put it in here. It's actually one of my honorable mentions.
Yeah, it's juicy and it's ballsy.
Gremlin
juicy and ballsy. Yeah, no, I love it. And like I said, my legs have been spread now for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we should start electing a gremlin pick of the week. And I think that deserves it.
Texans is it, yeah.
And I'm definitely not just trying to make up for forgetting that Jared hadn't given his lock yet. Definitely not doing that.
Okay. I'll forgive.
All right, I'll quickly run through my honorable mentions. Dolphins plus 2.5 versus Chargers, mostly because Tua's brain is the healthiest it's going to be all year.
Facts. True. Good point.
Argue against that. Try your best. I like the Pats plus 4 versus the Eagles. You got Super Bowl hangover plus Patriots revenge game? Question mark? I don't fucking know. And then I also like the Jags minus 3.5 versus Indy. This line confuses the hell out of me because I think the Jags are so much better than Indianapolis. I don't know why this line is only minus 3.5. Vegas must know something I don't.
Colts have lost how many in a row in the opening weekend? Like 9?
Nah, I don't fucking know, but it's not good. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yep. That's one of mine as well, Jags. I have it 4.5.
Okay.
But 4, whatever. And then I have Titans plus 3 versus the Saints. The healthiest the Titans will be all year, similar to your Dolphins logic. And then the Bengals minus 2.5 versus the Browns. Everything I hear coming out of the Browns camp with Watson is bad.
Really?
Everything I hear about Joe Burrow playing is good. So I'm gonna take that.
I didn't know that there was bad juju coming out of the Browns camp.
Bad. It's bad.
Like he can't play football anymore.
Yeah, he sucks.
That's not a good spot to be in.
No.
All right, hear me out. One last thing we'll cover before we end the pod. Do Denver and the Browns consider a trade? Just swap QBs.
That'd be funny.
We're just both in a bad spot. These guys need different environments, and just swap them up and see what happens.
Who's worse to have if Watson and Russell Wilson have equally bad years?
Probably
Watson,
the rapist. Yeah,
the racist.
because
They
he has like a
probably won't.
longer contract, I'm pretty sure, you know, so and it's all
Yeah,
guaranteed.
His contract's
Yeah.
insane. Actually, both contracts are pretty insane if I'm thinking about it correctly.
They're both
It's
team
insane.
killers. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But if you don't mind, I'm gonna throw in a quick juicy player prop. I only have
Please.
one.
Yes.
I only have one. That's the
I'm
only
gonna take it.
mention I'm gonna do. Paris Campbell touchdown plus 440.
Taking that.
I'm telling you right now, he's gonna have a nice little introduction to New York. He's gonna have a sneaky little. He's gonna have a sneaky little touchdown, little 8 yard, little 10 yard.
Yep. To the corner.
reception
Yeah.
in the end zone. And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Paris Campbell, welcome to New York." It's happening. Just so everyone knows. Plus 440. Why not?
That's facts. I'm gonna take that all day.
He's another guy that all the reporters out of New York are obsessed with. They're saying that he is
He's a good guy, God-fearing man. You know, I respect him. Good guy.
I want my players to fear God and no one else.
Brian Dawkins.
Yep. There we go.
He's a good dude, so.
Yeah, I think this has been a very, very good week one. I think the vibes going forward.
Vibes are high.
Vibes are high right now over here at SB Nation.
Setting the tone.
Exactly. That's actually what I was trying to say. Like, set the tone. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Please close your legs. And everyone else, enjoy the pod, and we'll catch you next week.